So did you hear that? So if I forget na nag-record ako, please remind me. No, hindi natin mara-record. Kasi minsan nalilimutan ko. Okay, 2019 administration, welcome. So thank you for joining us today. We've worked with Microsoft certified trainers and Microsoft Partner Network to bring you world-class learning experience. Nexus is MPN, and we have more than 3 MCTs, okay? And I'm one of the MCT. Microsoft Certified Trainers Instructor is a premier technical and instructional expert who meets ongoing certification. Every year, meron kaming some sort of CPD, which we need to attend. Okay, some sort of update on how you teach, what's the most effective training method, and they give us the module. So this module you're gonna see is not created by me, but created by Microsoft itself. No? So we also have customer satisfaction guarantee. We're gonna ask for feedback later, and we wish you a great learning experience and ongoing career success. So right after the training, yung 4 days training, actually 4 days to eh. Today is theory. Actually, may demo. I'm going to be showing you how to build machine. And then you're going to perform this one tomorrow. Okay? So I already introduced myself. What is the role of admin? Windows Server admin, usually they do installation, configuration, maintenance of Windows operating system. Okay, like they're part of business as usual team who's doing 24/7 support. Part of compliance team who do patching, installing of security, hot fixes, and so on. Okay? Sometimes they also do monitor system performance like yung mga call center natin sa India, doon namin na-outsource, and they monitor if one service is down, if the server went down, and if the server rebooted, no? And if it's doing non-optimized performance, no? Then we also implement security best practice. Okay, like we lock all the ports, we shut down all the services not needed, and we uninstall programs which is not being used. Okay, for security reason. And we provide technical support to consumers. So probably some of you supporting America, Europe, or Australia. No? So about this course, anybody can join this one, or anyone who has passion to learn Windows, even if you have no idea. Now, this is the beginning point. This is the first step of the ladder. Some of you will be confused, pero don't worry. Kasi I'll provide everything from scripts, books. I'm gonna give you books, step-by-step instruction, and computer-based training. So you can replay this one anytime you want. Okay, anytime you want, because I'm gonna upload this in YouTube. So this course is about to anyone starting in IT who would like to become system admin. Okay? And usually, nag-enroll dito are already in level 3 server support who would like to learn advanced such as scripting and automation. And the iba naman are on level 1 or level 2 desktop support who would like to level up sa server admin. Okay? Gusto nilang mag-mature. And someone may experience na sa Windows but would like to know how to automate yung tedious tasks. Audience is who wants to learn about core admin components like Active Directory, ano ba yung FISMA role, no? And how do AD replicates to other AD, no? And audience is yun nga, who want to automate tedious system admin job. You might be wondering, ba't 10 kayo sa team ninyo? No? Ba't di na lang 2? Diba? Kaya naman gawin to kasi after nun, wala nang ginagawa yung iba. Diba? So automate nyo na lang. And meron dito mga best security practices na you have to lock down mga ports na hindi naman kailangan. No? And another audience is yung may experience na in Windows operating system. Okay? Course outline, module 1. Ang dami natin gagawin today. No, le-lecture natin. Demo ko na. First, we gonna create a server, tatlong server in Hyper-V environment. So, I'll give you a visual of what will happen today. So, this will be our project. Ito yung project natin. So, we're gonna build more than 12 projects. Before kasi 12 lang, ngayon nagdagdag pa ako. Project number 1 that you're going to build for the next 3 days R3 virtual machine. The name of the servers are server 1, 2, and 3 with corresponding IP address, 10.11.21, yung Active Directory. .22 naman yung second Active Directory, and .23, which is a member server. Mind you, server 3 is just for testing. Okay, tetest natin. Maglalag tayo dito, and titingnan natin if we were granted access. Okay? Then, here you are, sitting in Philippines or any other country. No, may overseas students din eh. Nakakonect sa modem ninyo, and then you can connect to cyberspace. And then you will connect to my router. I'll give you the IP address tomorrow and the port number. And then you will be routed to your Hyper-V host. Okay? So kayo gagawa ng Hyper-V ninyo. Okay? Within the Hyper-V, you will build 3 virtual machine. Okay? Yun ang project number 1. 1 pa lang yun. Okay, let's move on sa project number 2 natin, Active Directory Administration. So in Active Directory Administration, project 2, you will install Active Directory sa server 1 as well as a second Active Directory in server 2. Why you need 2? For best practice, you need at least 2 so you can fail over just in case the first server is unreachable. Okay, that's 2. Module 3, you will create users using PowerShell. So you will log in dito sa server 1. Okay, you will create 100 users using PowerShell script. Okay, so once successful, since our 2 servers are replicating, those 100 users should be replicated dito sa second Active Directory. So lalaging kayo dito, check nyo, nakreate nyo ba yung 100? Okay, that's one way to confirm. Module 4 naman, you need to maintain Active Directory. So let's say the file was deleted accidentally by user sa server 1. No, so nag-request ng user, please restore back the file. No, so gagawa tayo ng backup and restore dito. And we're gonna also back up yung Active Directory. Okay, so just in case the help desk deleted 3,000 objects, we can be able to restore back. Okay. And then project number 5, we're gonna create a group policy object sa server 1. So lalagin kayo dito. So create tayo ng group policy object. Let's say clock should be hidden. So when the user in server 3 will log in, kailangan wala tong clock to confirm na yung GPO was in effect. Okay? Module 6 naman, folder redirection. Sa folder redirection, we're gonna create an advanced group policy and we're gonna implement folder redirection. So what is folder redirection? Ito yung pag naglagay ng user, all their user profile, roaming profile, and file was redirected dito sa server. No? Sa file server na to. And let's say their laptop was stolen for some reason, they just need to log into another laptop and all file will be redirected to the server. Back to his laptop. No? Some sort of redundancy. And then meron tayong file service resource management for the user na, let's say, nakakapag-save sila ng unlimited disk space, no? And gusto nating i-control. Let's say, standard user, 100 megabyte lang. Pwede yan. So, gagawin natin dito, mag-implement tayo ng FSRM. Set natin si user number 1, 100 meg quota. So, pag lagi ni user 1 sa server 3, then nag-save siya ng 2 gig, prohibited siya. She won't be able to save the file kasi nga may quota. Okay? Limited. And then we're gonna have DFS. Sa DFS naman, distributed file system, meaning the file saved in Active Directory 1, let's say in Sydney, and then meron ka ding file server na nasa Manila, they will do replication. Okay? So yung server na nasa Manila, let's say for some reason naputol yung telco, unavailable yung network, hindi siya makaka-access, right? So ang gagawin ng DFS, ira-route yung traffic ni user 1 to Sydney's file server. Okay? Some sort of failover mechanism. And then next project natin, DHCP. Napaka-simple lang nito. So DHCP, pag nag-login si user 1 dito, tapos naka-dynamic, magbabato si server 1 na may DHCP role ng IP address dynamically. Okay, ganun lang siya. And then we're gonna do failover. So papatayin natin itong server 1, no? Tapos magla-login tayo dito, mag-release renew, hugot tayo ng IP dito. Kasi nag-fail over na to. Okay? So we're gonna put failover DHCP dito. Some sort of failover scenario used in disaster recovery. And then we're going to troubleshoot what went wrong. And then we're going to go to DNS to resolve hostname resolution. No? And then failover din natin yung DNS na yan from server 1, failover natin sa secondary server natin. Tapos, test natin. Meron tayong DNS client, piping natin kung nagre-resolve ba. Once confirmed, nag-resolve, you have successfully completed the disaster recovery solution. Okay? So some sort of DR testing yan. Then lastly, to troubleshoot natin. Kasi a good engineer should be able to troubleshoot and test natin dito. Para ba't di natin ma-resolve yung IP address? Ganun. Tatanungin, anong problema? No? Dito na papasok yung skill ninyo that you learn in Nexus. Troubleshooting. No? So dito tayo binabayaran. No? Okay, any question about the projects? Okay, Module 1, Server 2019 Implementation, Lesson 1, Intro to Server. So, Server 2019 released 4 edition. Merong Essential, Standard, Data Center, and Standalone Hyper-V, which hosts multiple servers. You don't need GUI, no? You don't need graphical user interface. So, I'm gonna open my reference. So, what's the difference between Standard and Data Center? Sa standard and data center, maximum users, no? Depende sa available client access license. Let's say 24 lang yung license na purchase nyo, 24 devices lang ang pwede, no? So how many connection can you make? So ito yung file shares, sharing connection, 16 million, no? One user can have multiple connection. Let's say group share, home directory share, program share, whatever. Maximum routing, how many times you can route sa server ninyo and how many RAS, remote access server, unlimited. Authentication through internet, 2 million. How many RDP? Ilang pwedeng beses makapag-RDP? 65,000. Well, depende rin sa terminal service license nyo. No? How many CPU socket? Physical socket, ha? Let's say meron kayong server na 4 na quad core, physical. So 4 sockets yun. Okay? So ito maximum. Nakakita na ba kayo 64 socket? Usually Itanium tawag nila doon. No? Number of cores, no limit din. So kung meron kayong 4 na physical socket na merong quad core, so 4 times 4, 16 cores yun. Okay? So unlimited, kaya niya yung support. But then again, you have to purchase the core. Okay? Number of RAM memory, 24 terabytes. Guest license sa standard, ito yung difference, dalawa lang. So you can spin up 2 virtual machine sa standard editions. Data center, unlimited. Okay? Windows container, unlimited. Hyper-V container, dito dalawa lang. Yun ang biggest difference lang niya. No? Yun lang yan. Nothing, not much. Not much. No? Hardware requirements, anong requirements na kailangan nyo? 64-bit. Well, anybody, lahat naman ng motherboard, 64-bit na. Diba? Processor speed is only 1.4, minimal. RAM ninyo, you only need 512 daw. Pero depende sa rows. Space is 32 gig lang. Na? So, licensing and activation, minimum kailangan ma-activate nyo 8 core. Okay? Eh, lahat ng physical core must be licensed. Yun nga, kung meron kayong 4 na CPU socket na may quad-core H16 yun, dapat ma-activate yun. Okay? Bibili kayo ng 16, no? Saan bibili? Technet.com. CAL naman, ito yung access. Let's say meron kang 100 users who'd like to access yung Windows ninyo. So, you need to purchase CAL and then a-apply ninyo. No? How do you activate naman yung license? Napaka-simple. So, I'll make a demonstration. So, SLMGR lang yan. So, I'm gonna log into to my server. So, sa server ko, lalagin tayo. So, we have this PowerShell, no? And this is the PowerShell. So, pag-open ng PowerShell, run as admin. ICE tawag dito, Integrated Shell Environment. So, I will explain to you. Meron tayong basic ng PowerShell. No? So, this is the command console prompt. Ito na yung command prompt. No? So, to activate naman ng license, SLMGR. Okay? So, yan. So, it will be they will ask you to enter the product key. So slmgr/ipk, then spacing 16 number ben to activate the key. Ganun lang, no? You have to do it one by one kasi each operating system has its own unique license unless you have